Bose, the unsung hero of India's independence. It is said strong time creates strong men, and strong men in turns create weak times. In 1887, when the time was stronger than titanium, a man was born in Cuttack on 23rd January. A man who envisioned Indian independence, a man who actually taught the Indians that freedom is not given, it's taken. In 1901, at the mere age of 14, Subhas sneaked out of his house because he didn't want to go to a school ran by the Britishers. He returned after 7 months. In this time, no one knew where he was. So my question is, if a 14-year boy can throw dust at the eyes of his parents, why a man of 48 can't do so, to hide from the British Raj? Subhas knew the difference to be in a fork of ship or a rightful owner of the jungle. All his life he had only one dream, to kick out the Britishers out of his motherland. He knew it is our duty to pay for our liberty with our own blood, the freedom that we shall win through our sacrifice and exertion. We shall be able to preserve with our own strength. In 1918, Subhas beat up a teacher with sandal in Presidency College because he insulted his religion. He has already stricken a fear in the mind of the Britishers that their days are numbered. Bose left India in 1919 for England with a promise to his father that he would appear in the Indian Civil Services examination. He went to study in Fitzwilliam College, Cambridge, and matriculated in 19th November 1919. He came fourth in the ICS examination and was selected, but he did not want to work under an alien government, which would mean serving the British. As he stood on the verge of taking the plunge by resigning from the Indian Civil Service in 1921, he wrote to his elder brother, Sharat Chandra Bose, "Only on the soil of sacrifice and suffering can we raise our national edifice." In 1921, the Prince of Wales visited Calcutta and Subhas was sentenced to jail for 6 months for selling khadi. At that time, people used to go to jail for smuggling opium or cocaine, but Bose went for his motherland. In 1928, the country saw which they couldn't dreamt of. The roads of Calcutta was filled with 2,000 armed uniformed men, and leading them was our beloved Netaji. The Indian National Congress and the British government just stood still at the grandeur. Due to this, he has a conflict with Gandhiji. Subhas knew freedom comes at a price and he is willing to pay for it. He knew it is his country and he must have an army. But when Gandhiji was asked about this, he said, "It's nothing but Bertram Miller's circus." Seeing the uprising tension in the country, the British government and the Congress elected Bose to be the mayor of Calcutta. But in 1931, Bose was again sent to jail, and this time he was infected with tuberculosis. He went to Austria for treatment and rest, where he met Emily Schenkel. Bose returned to India, and by this time he was a mass popular leader. He formed Forward Bloc, a new party of independence. On the outbreak of war, Bose advocated a campaign of mass civil disobedience to protest against Viceroy Lord Linlithgow's decision to declare war on India's behalf without consulting the Congress leadership. Having failed to persuade Gandhiji of necessity of this, Bose organized mass protest in Calcutta calling for the Holwell Monument, commemorating the Black Hole of Calcutta, which then stood at the corner of Dalhousie Square, to be removed. He was thrown in jail by the British, but was released following a 7-day hunger strike. Bose's house in Calcutta was kept under surveillance by the CID. Bose decided to seek help from the enemies of British to free Mother India. Bose escaped from the British surveillance from his Elgin Road house in Calcutta about 1:25 am on 17 January 1941, accompanied by his nephew Shishir Kumar Bose in a German-made Wanderer W24 sedan car, which would take him to Gomho railway station and then state of Bihar, India. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, in order to free India from the shackles of British imperialism, organized the Azad Hind government from outside the country on October 21, 1943. Netaji set up the Provisional Government of Independent India, known as Azad Hind, and transferred its headquarters at Rangoon on January 7, 1944. On the 5th April 1944, Azad Hind Bank was inaugurated at Rangoon. Netaji was able to capture most part of eastern India before the surrender of Japan in Second World War. It was in 1945 when Bose was traveling from Saigon to Tokyo. His plane crashed and he is said to be dead. But did he actually died is a real question, and the answer to this is unknown. But this is his legacy maybe. Because of this paradox, Bose will never die in the heart of Indians and the world. Netaji is not just a name, it's an emotion to which all the Indians are attached to. And still, when we today hear the lines of his famous speech, "Give me blood and I will give you freedom," we still feel a goosebump in our body. Our heart beats faster and our eyes fill with tears for this unsung hero of our independence. This is where Netaji will always reside, that is, in our heart.
The hour has struck, and every patriotic Indian must advance towards the field of battle. Only when the blood of freedom-loving Indians begins to flow will India attain her freedom. Inqilab Zindabad. Azad Hind Zindabad.